All right, so you guys know about the BRICS nations, right? So that's Brazil, Russia, India, and China. These are the countries that want to blow the US dollar out of the water and basically make it completely obsolete by not using it for global trade. This is a problem. And so while this is worrying in and of itself, we should also be aware that other nations are interested in joining this coalition. One of these nations is actually very close to the United States. Any guesses as to which one this is? A country that one senator says is poisoning the United States. And another historic turn, a huge international deal was just brokered using the Chinese yuan. Let me repeat this, guys. The Chinese yuan, not the American dollar. This is a huge deal. You guys think that we should be expecting more of these trades? Now, on the topic of expecting more, we should expect more food price increases at our next ball game. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, baseball, or any other game that has food for sale. Just know that going to one will have you shelling out more money. And doing that will be much harder as we're seeing more and more waves of layoffs, cuts that are now going up to the thousands of workers. Are any of you guys prepared to face a layoff? Let me ask this other question. Have any of you been laid off? Now, before I begin, please take a second, smash the like button for the video. It really helps out a lot and gives me a push to produce more content for you guys. Now, if you're in need of your daily dose of the truth when it comes to the global happenings, state of our economy, stock market, the housing market, social security, and everything going on in Washington, D.C. that affects our lives, our families, and our bank accounts, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And for the best way to invest in gold or silver, hit the link in the description down below this video. To say that the US dollar is on borrowed time would be an understatement. It actually feels as if it's got one foot in the grave already. And while we can't completely ditch the dollar because, duh, we live in the United States, other countries are moving towards a world where it's going to be worth nothing.
Beijing is on a mission. It wants to internationalize the yuan. It is building a large coalition of partners. These are countries that will use the yuan instead of the US dollar, and Beijing has made considerable progress in this direction. It has secured bilateral pacts with 41 countries so far. The total value of these agreements is more than $500 billion. So the yuan is gaining international acceptance. And the petro-yuan is rising. Now, what is the petro-yuan? It's not a different currency. Petro-yuan is simply using the yuan to settle oil bills, just like the petrodollar. And China is making an aggressive push for this. It is finding takers in oil-producing nations. Russia, for instance, it has embraced the yuan. So have Iran, Venezuela, and some African nations. Now, reports say Saudi Arabia is also considering the switch from the dollar to the yuan. And this is going to be a very important development. We know that Riyadh has been at odds with Washington and is getting closer to Beijing. But ditching the dollar will be a decisive move.
You guys want an example of this movement? How about France buying 65,000 tons worth of liquefied natural gas or LNG from China using their currency, the yuan? So this is the first LNG trade settled using the yuan. And while this report was initially seen in Reuters, it's weird that we can't seem to find their article. Maybe they deleted it? I'm not sure why they would do that though. Are the powers that be trying to keep this big, huge information under wraps? You gotta wonder though, is the United States dollar's global status at risk? I know it's just one trade, but a pile of dominoes needs just one piece to fall, and then all the others will follow suit. Well, to be frank, that also depends on other pieces being in line. They have to be set in order for them to fall down, which is what the BRICS nations want for sure. They want to create that alternative to the US dollar, and there seems to be interest from other nations as well, namely Saudi Arabia, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, Argentina, Algeria, Nigeria, and also Mexico. Sooner or later, we're most probably going to be hearing news that these nations are also following the trend of investing in tons and tons of gold. What do you guys think of all this? Should we be worried or concerned? Senator Lindsey Graham here at home is worried about Mexico, that's for sure. In a recent committee hearing, Graham had this to say, quote, "What are we going to do about the poisoning of America?" So here's what I would say. America is under attack. Our nation is being attacked by foreign powers called drug cartels in Mexico. When the Japanese attacked America at Pearl Harbor, they killed about 3,000 Americans. 9/11, when we were attacked, about 3,000. This is the largest attack on American homeland by a foreign power in the history of our nation, end quote. That's quite a comparison. And I feel as if Graham is just worried about what could happen if Mexico does indeed join the BRICS nations. What do you guys think? Is the drug problem due to the supply being brought here, or is it because because demand is high. Now, this reminds me of one comment that I had to take a screenshot of. Jarita from our community said this, quote, "I'm 73 years old and I've never seen our country in the shape it's in right now. I have lost all faith in our government doing anything. They can't agree on much, and most of the people I talk to feel like we're becoming a third world country more and more. It is sad and it breaks my heart that America is being destroyed bit by bit," end quote. Do you guys agree with Jarita? Is it getting that much harder to recognize our country as it's fallen so far now? I understand that it's scary, but what can we do? Should we just cover our eyes to what's happening all around us? Pretend like everything's all right? I'm pretty sure that you guys don't need more proof that things are changing, but just to kind of drive the point home, and for those of us who enjoy buying food, whenever we're at the ballpark, Belinda Oakley, Sodexo Live CEO, had this to say, quote, "It doesn't matter what industry you're in, everyone is noticing prices going up and scarcity becoming an issue in certain product lines," end quote. What does Sodexo Live do? Not much. They just operate food, beverage, and hospitality services at Seattle's T-Mobile Park, as well as 200 plus sports, cultural, and entertainment properties throughout the United States. So yeah, expect the ballpark hot dog to be either of two things. It could be worth a lot more, or you could be biting on a whole lot less. Now, it's also weird to see those of us who still insist on going to these events. I mean, I understand that you're passionate about your team, but can you afford to go? Or are you swiping credit cards faster than a 100-mile-an-hour pitch? Hey, don't mind me and the headlines of layoffs that are sure to pop up as we go along in 2023. But hear me out for a second here. Just in recent weeks, we've seen companies announce layoffs of thousands of workers. So let's see. Accenture announced almost 20,000 jobs, Meta with almost 15,000 jobs, Amazon with 9,000 jobs, Disney with 7,000 jobs, Indeed with 2,200 jobs, Bed Bath & Beyond with 1,300 layoffs. I mean, this is just in recent weeks, guys. Now, a survey from Go Banking Rates asked 1,000 respondents if they've been let go within the last 12 months. Sadly, 20% of them said that they have. And a huge percentage of these people, of these workers, between the ages of 25 and 34 years old. And so here's the next question. Are any of you guys prepared to lose your job? Can you cover 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses? The same survey actually showed that almost 30% of respondents had less than $500 in savings, with 17.5% of them not having any money at all in savings. Is this reality settling in now? I really hope that this serves as a wake-up call for people who continue to spend on stuff that they can't afford. Now, of course, it ain't tricking if you got it. So if you got it, feel free to go ahead and spend. But if you don't, you might want to start to prepare. So what are you doing to hopefully avoid bankruptcy in this day and age? Now, you might be saying, well, you can't relate to not having a job or money, Ron. You're on YouTube. Well, here's a shocker for you guys. Just because I upload daily videos on YouTube doesn't mean that I'm not hustling and working hard on other ventures. We have to face the truth that one stream of income is not going to do it. And that's why I've always looked into small businesses and side hustles as well. Because to produce the cash flow that I want, I need multiple streams of income. I also use my time wisely by studying the stock market and investing in different sectors. One of them includes real estate, and of course, there's also gold. But having said all that, how does that relate to any of you guys? If you're willing to jump out of your comfort zone and learn, then any of these opportunities, whether it be investing in the stock market, real estate, side hustles, starting an online business, e-commerce store, affiliate marketing, you name it, all of these are possible. But if you guys want to learn more about that, feel free to drop me some comments down below. The road to financial freedom is not easy, but it's also not impossible. But before I go, guys, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up for the video. Also subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.